What Frédéric Vasseur has just revealed about Ferrari's performance after the Japanese Grand Prix couldn't be anything less than shocking, and it could completely reshape how we see the 2025 season. This was supposed to be the year Ferrari finally challenged Red Bull. Instead, we're hearing the team principal himself say that the current state of Formula One may be turning into what he calls a qualifying championship, something that should seriously alarm anyone hoping for Ferrari's return to glory. If Saturdays are truly becoming more important than Sundays, then Ferrari's current issues, ranging from inconsistent setups and poor one-lap pace to chronically underperforming components on Lewis Hamilton's side of the garage, could be fatal to their chances of winning anything this year. And this isn't just speculation, it's a direct statement from the top, a brutally honest analysis after Suzuka in 2025. Vasseur didn't try to hide behind excuses. He made it very clear, track position is now everything. Overtaking has become nearly impossible, and if you don't stand out in qualifying, you simply won't win races in 2025. That alone is devastating news for Ferrari, a team that's been struggling all season to get the SF25 into the right performance window. To make matters worse, radio communications from both Hamilton and Leclerc revealed ongoing balance issues and the recent discovery of a low-performing component that has been hurting Hamilton's car. Vasseur's comments are not just insightful, they're a serious warning that Ferrari may be spiraling again much earlier than anyone expected. In this video, we'll analyze every detail of what Vasseur actually said, because this might be the most important statement from a team principal so far this year. Here, it's not just about the Japanese Grand Prix. It's about a team at serious risk of falling behind in a season where qualifying could mean everything, and Ferrari is simply not ready. Let's get straight to the elephant in the room. Vasseur's result in the Japanese Grand Prix wasn't disastrous on paper, but in the context of what was expected from this team in 2025, it was deeply disappointing. Charles Leclerc finished 4th and Lewis Hamilton 7th. Both drivers scored points, but that's exactly the issue. Ferrari is settling for damage control instead of fighting for podiums. In a post-race interview that raised more eyebrows than a surprise pole position, Frédéric Vasseur warned that Formula One in 2025 may be turning into a qualifying championship, a reality where your starting position determines your finishing position, simply because overtaking has become nearly impossible. Now remember, this is coming from the head of Ferrari, one of the most iconic teams in F1 history. It may sound pessimistic, but it's not just Vasseur's outlook. It's a reflection of the current technical and strategic limitations of Ferrari's SF25. In Suzuka, the top 6 drivers finished in the exact order they qualified. Max Verstappen was never challenged. Lando Norris couldn't even get close enough to use DRS. Behind them, Ferrari was stuck in a neutral zone, too slow to challenge the leaders, but just fast enough to stay ahead of Mercedes. So when Vasseur says, yes, it will probably be a qualifying championship, what he's really doing is issuing a warning. Ferrari cannot rely on race pace alone. They need to excel in qualifying. And right now, they're clearly struggling with that. Let's talk about Hamilton. After 3 full Grand Prix weekends, Lewis Hamilton is still behind in both qualifying and race results. Yes, he did secure Ferrari's first pole position and sprint race win of the season in China, but that remains the exception, not the rule. In Suzuka, he couldn't even break into the top 6. He crossed the line behind both Mercedes cars and never looked like a real threat. After the race, Hamilton was brutally honest. He confirmed that his side of the garage has been dealing with a consistently underperforming component since the start of the season, an issue Ferrari only recently discovered. Think about that. One of the greatest drivers in F1 history, possibly facing his most ambitious project since joining Mercedes in 2013, spent the first 3 races fighting against his own machine, and it took until Japan to identify the problem. This isn't just bad luck, it's a structural failure in internal communication and car management at Ferrari. Hamilton also mentioned the domino effect caused by his disqualification in China, which forced a change to the ride height to avoid another penalty for floor wear. That adjustment came at the cost of aerodynamic grip. Suzuka, with its high-speed corners and relentless pace, punished that compromise brutally. Hamilton described the car as having Nothing left to give. If that's the performance ceiling, Ferrari is in serious trouble. On paper, fourth place may look decent, but listening to his post-race comments reveals something else entirely: frustration. He called the race irritating, described the car's performance as insufficient, and admitted that despite good balance and a clean drive, he was simply too far behind. In a more revealing moment, when asked where Ferrari was weaker compared to McLaren, he said, maybe in Sector 1, but also admitted it was hard to say because they were always 2 seconds ahead. And that's the real issue. Ferrari isn't losing races in Sector 3. They're losing them before they even begin. Leclerc understands this too. Vasseur says Ferrari needs to improve in every aspect, and he's not wrong. The SF25 needs more aerodynamic downforce, more straight-line speed, and above all, a wider operating window. Currently, the car is too sensitive to ride height, making it unpredictable to set up and difficult to extract performance from consistently. Vasseur also admitted that Ferrari's strategic and operational decisions must improve. In Suzuka, Ferrari ran a conservative race. They didn't attempt an undercut. They didn't gamble with tyre strategies. They didn't split their plans between drivers. They simply reacted, and that passive approach won't work against Red Bull's efficiency or McLaren's growing boldness. Moreover, communication is clearly deteriorating. We saw it in the radio messages from Suzuka, with Hamilton asking, "Why am I slow, mate?" and receiving vague answers. When questioned about engine slowdown instructions, he pushed back, saying, "You've already told me not to do that for a reason. These aren't just random complaints, they're signs of deeper issues between the drivers and the pit wall." Vasseur himself said this is not an ideal start to the season, but he also pointed out there are still 21 races left. That's true, there's still time to turn things around, but for that to happen, Ferrari needs to stop reacting and start building. That means immediately fixing Hamilton's setup issues. It means giving Leclerc a car he can actually fight with. And it means ensuring that no matter what happens on Saturday, they don't go into Sundays already resigned to their fate.